guys, Michael here from Street Racing, and today we're going to be doing the 5 things I love about my 35th anniversary, 1999 35th anniversary Mustang with a V6 engine. So if you hadn't checked out my other video on 5 things I hate about the car, definitely go check that out. Link will be in the description below, and there's a lot of references in this video to that video, so definitely go check it out first, and then come back and watch this one, and things will make a little bit more sense if they don't already. And before we get into the countdown, I also want to mention, this video is not only going to be 5 things I love about the car, but it's also going to be, should you buy this car? You know, I'm going to be going into detail on the things that I love about this car. And I know there's like countless countdowns before on 5 things they love about their car, about their 99 Mustang. But these are the things that I love about my car. And, you know, should you buy this car? So I'll be getting to that more at the end of the video. But definitely, you know, just keep in mind, these are just the things that I find attractive and I like about this car. So the 5th thing I love about this car is the aftermarket for this car. There is a super strong aftermarket for this car because how popular it is, how it's everywhere. I mean, everybody's seen a Mustang from this generation. They're everywhere. At least they are down here. And I've been to a lot of places in the United States, and I still see them all over the place. So the aftermarket for this car is super strong. And if you've seen my video on the 5 things I hate about my Saturn SE1, I mentioned that there's not a strong aftermarket for the Saturn, and that really does kill, like, you know, the modifications that you can do to your car. Everything that has to be custom. And as cool as custom stuff is, it's super hard to do. And it's just so much easier to, like, buy headlights instead of, you know, making the ones that you have look different, tinting them or something like that. You know, it's so much easier to just buy aftermarket headlights, buy aftermarket taillights, buy aftermarket exhaust, shifters, steering wheels, that kind of thing. And there was just not any support for the Saturn. Hardly. I think the one thing I found aftermarket for that car was the headlights. That's one thing I did find aftermarket about that car, and they look stunning. If you've probably seen. But anyway, that's the 5th thing I love about this car is how strong the aftermarket is. And the 4th thing I love about this car has to be how inexpensive they are. I picked this car up 2 years ago for $1,700. $1,700. I mean, it wasn't the best of condition, had almost 200,000 miles, but for $1,700 and it ran and drove fine. Yeah, I've had to put some money into it, and I put more than I spent into it throughout the years, but still, it wasn't as bad as going and getting a new car, and I'm still driving it, you know? So you really can't beat the price. You can get a Mustang GT from this generation in decent condition with fairly low miles for about $4 to $5 grand. That's not bad. That really is not bad considering what you're getting for the money. That's one thing you have to consider is how inexpensive the car is to what you can get. So when you're considering buying one of these cars, you really have to take that into consideration that you get a lot for your money. And you get a lot of performance for your money. And that's very important when buying a sports car, obviously. You can get a Cobra from the 90s, like a 1998 Cobra like I was looking at. I mean, it had like not even 100,000 miles on it. And mint condition, they wanted 10 grand for it. $10,000 for a Cobra. You know, that 350 horsepower is a monster of a car. That, I mean, you really, it's hard to find another brand of car, another generation of car like this that gives you so much for the money. I mean, yeah, every interior is a clone of the next one. I mean, they're all the same, as I mentioned in my last video. But that doesn't matter whenever you consider the performance of this car. So that has to be the number 4th thing that I love about this car. So coming in at number 3 has to be the noises this car makes. Just the noises that this V6 makes. I mean, it is truly rewarding to just, I mean, yeah, this doesn't have aftermarket exhaust. This has a cold air intake, that's it. And, I mean, it's just the noise that fills the cabin whenever you put your foot to the ground. It's so rewarding. That in itself isn't bad for a V6. Compared with how decent gas mileage you get compared to a V8, this V6 just makes some great noises, and it's just so rewarding to drive. Which brings me to the 2nd thing I love about this car, drivability. Yeah, me and this car have had our ups and downs, but I still love this car. And I find myself, you know, every afternoon I come in from work, I want to go driving in it. I want to get in this car and I want to just, you know, punch it going down the one back road, you know, doing 90 miles an hour, because it's just so rewarding. And that's such an important thing when buying a sports car, is how rewarding the driving experience is. I mean, yeah, the suspension will beat you to death unless you change it to like some coilovers or some long experience like I did. But it's worth it. It is so worth it to just drive this car, and it just rewards you in such a way that makes you, you know, every time you go, it's time to go home. So you go home and you shut the car off, you put your keys on the table, and you go, maybe just one more, maybe just one more hour, one more cruise. So brings me to number one. The number one thing I love about this car is the way it looks. This was the new Edge Mustangs, you know, with the S6 V6. I mean, it's different than its predecessors. Of course, anything looks more, you know, closer to the original Mustang design than the 80s Mustang, but that's besides the point. I love the way this car looks because it mixes the edges, the style that people like in a newer car with a couple of the same flares that the original Mustangs had, like the 3-slotted taillights, that kind of thing. And I'll post a picture of this one up here in just a second, and so that you can see what mine looks like. But I love the way this car looks. It just looks good, and it's unmistakable whenever you see a Mustang coming at you down the road. You know what it is, and it'll always turn heads. They're just all around a good-looking car, in my opinion. You might hate the way they look, but I love the way they look, and that's a big reason why I got a Mustang from this generation. Because I mean, I like the Mustangs from the generation after this, like the 2005 to 2008. I think they made that body style. They look okay, and they really give a good tribute to the original Mustangs. You know, the Mustangs back from the 70s that had the wide open mouth and everything like that. It really pays tribute to the originals, and that means a lot. And I do like those, but this is my favorite generation of Mustang. The same body style. I like this more than any other. So that's it for the countdown. But I do want to mention this. If you're in the market for buying one of these Mustangs, if you can get it for a good price, I would do it. I was very, pleased with the Mustang that I bought, and I wouldn't give it up for the world. Even if it just has a V6, it's still my baby. It's my first sports car, and I would highly recommend getting one. And for the money, you really can't ask for more. So, in conclusion, I would also like to ask this. I'm thinking about doing a video on, is there really a difference between K&N air filters and just a regular aftermarket drop-in filter? There's a big difference in price, but is there a difference in performance? If you'd like to see that video, definitely go check out, let me know in the comments below. Sorry about that. And if you haven't checked out my horror channel, definitely go check it out in the description. I play horror video games and read creepypastas and all that good stuff. It's pretty fun. So that's about it for this video, guys. Like, subscribe if you haven't. Go check out all the links down below, as there will be links to videos and channels and all that good stuff. So definitely go check out every single one of them. And so yeah, that's about it for this video, guys. And I'll see you in the next one. You have a wonderful and safe day.